Last week, we were given an idea of how incompetence and lack of knowledge have brought us to where we are today, here at Clive Lee Engineering, where Meraai's heart is being resurrected. Hello, my friends. I hope you are all well. Let's jump straight into it. Last week was a pretty informative and jam-packed episode with a few surprises. What I did do, and I thank you so much for all your messages. You guys were as incredulous as I was. After one of them, I've always been into this right of reply thing. So I actually phoned the guys from BG Engineering, and I spoke to Anthony, the owner of the company, and he's basically told me, everything that they did was above board and book, and yes, they bought out everything and they sent it to East Coast Scratch and Dent. There was no issue. I then contacted Brahm, and I sent him an email and a WhatsApp. He did get back to me. Brahm says he did get the correct pistons and sent them on to BG Engineering, where Anthony fitted them. The block you see here being loaded into my vehicle supposedly had all the turbo pistons installed. So Brahm is saying this is BG Engineering's cock-up. So who did what and when? No idea. But that's in the past and we are moving forward. So, let me just show you. Let's get to our engine block. And here she is, and she is looking beautiful. If you look closely, you can see that the sleeve is still sticking up by about 1 millimeter or so. The next stage is to get that level with the engine block, and then we can begin the assembly. Like I've already mentioned, Anthony from BG Engineering said, they did. They rebored the sleeve and everything. So I asked Anton if it was standard practice, and he said, yes, it is, because often the sleeves are, they're not quite right, and so you rebore them. The problem was with this thing is that they've got bored so thin, and the pistons, everything seems to boil to the pistons. The pistons is what was the droll in the drinkwater here. Anton said it was a 4-ring piston, and a 4-ring piston you get a lot more friction. So a thin sleeve, it's just not something you should do. What has also been pointed out to me regarding our whole situation here is that we have just encountered the perfect storm. A whole lot of little things that all combined and caused this catastrophic engine failure. That's the block sorted. Let's see what is happening with the rest of our engine. Last week, you'll remember I explained to you that Clive Lee Engineering consists of a whole lot of different departments. Well, I have got news, and it's exciting news. This is the cylinder head department. And in that room is our spanking new cylinder head. The man who is about to educate me as to the issues we faced with our cylinder head is Lofty.
That head was a non-turbo head. The whole head itself was a non-turbo head. We are going with the ADE 352 turbo head.
Okay, I got
the head was working only, but with the non-turbo head, what happens, the valve seat angle is different for that turbo. Okay, on a turbo ADE 352, the angle of the valve on your intake is 30 degrees.
Okay.
And on your non-turbo, it is 45 degrees.
Right.
The head size on your non-turbo is 44 millimeters.
Okay.
And your non-turbo is 42 millimeters.
While all this regarding the build is going on, our big girl is waiting patiently for the day that she can be whole again and feel the energy as it flows through her 5-ton frame. With all this going on inside Clive Lee Engineering, I tend to forget about our girl standing outside here waiting. And I've got to keep reminding myself that we've still got a hell of a lot to do with regards to what is going on inside that vehicle. The whole habitation department. But at least now I know when we leave this place and go back to trade check for all the final little touch-ups, this vehicle will be mechanically solid. Our engine block has gone for its final pamper session. All the gunk and rust needs to be removed before the next stage can take place. And that next stage is here in the assembly room. This assembly room is the domain of a guy called Leon. And that's him there. And everything has been laid out here so that the assembly process can start, which will either be later today or possibly tomorrow they will begin. Back in the wash bay, the engine block is now having a cleansing ceremony. A cleansing that should have been done a few years ago. This is another step towards the light at the end of the tunnel. A light that in recent weeks had all but disappeared. Because of the distance to Clive Lee, I get there every second day. Towards the end of the week, the progress is obvious. Leon has been a busy boy. Our power plant is looking ever so sexy. I can honestly say that I get really excited when I see what is happening here. The main assembly has already happened. If one takes a look at all the different tags that are stuck on this block of steel, you can see this is a quality product. Now, our problem is that the oaks who had got hold of this quality product screwed it up totally. Well, yeah, that is all about to end. Leon patiently works his way through Meraai's power plant. Every seal and gasket has been replaced. Something else that the guys have found out as they've been going through the engine is that quite a few of the bolts, particularly down over here, and I think there were some on this side, were stripped. They've just been forced in, and so I'm very chuffed that this has all been found. This fix is costing a fortune, and we cannot stop thanking the anonymous donor who has made this possible. Even so, trust is something that both Mariki and I are struggling to embrace. But the guys at Clive Lee are helping us to learn how to trust once more. It has been absolutely fantastic to have a week that has been drama-free, like cuckless, you know? There's been no cuck. I can't tell you what that feels like, because one has been so used to being pummeled that it's just like, phew. Anyways, yeah, you know, we're progressing very well. Things are going, something was going on. There was noise, a lot of noise. So Leon is... A short while ago, I mentioned that the perfect storm had caused our 500-kilogram engine to blow. This storm that had interrupted my closing link was epic. It is bucketing down! Yo! I was busy wrapping it up, I could hardly hear myself think! This rain is a well-timed cleansing, a kind of aqua ritual. It symbolizes the sweat and tears that have washed over us in recent weeks. Dare we hope again. Dare we try to rekindle the passion that others destroyed. Hell yes. And that, my friends, is what you call a downpour. Almost like it was a divine intervention washing the cuck of the past away. Anyways, let's get back into our assembly room. And as I was saying, the progress that Leon has made on our assembly is massive, and hopefully sometime next week we can bring you this engine on the static mount being fired up and run to check everything is on rats. So yeah, that's it from me. Yeah, I'm relieved. Yes, a non-eventful but eventful week. Guys, yeah, please, you know the drill. Look after your families, your loved ones, your possessions, your property, and above all, you keep safe.